Hi, I'm Tyler Perry, and I'll be reading from my recently published book, Plausible Wrong Answers, which came out in 2020 with Frontenac House. One of the things that I missed the most about publishing in 2020 was the live readings at bookstores that I would have loved to do, which would have, without a doubt, happened at Shelf Life Bookstore. So thank you to Shelf Life for putting up this video series and for inviting me to read. So Plausible Wrong Answers is a collection of poetry, and it's illustrated by Calgary artist Anna Navarro. And basically what it does, it takes texts such as diploma, exam, reading comprehension tests, and government curriculum, and it takes the text from those documents and shapes them into poetry. I'm going to read you a little bit from the illustrated section of the book, which is, there are multiple voices in this section. The first one you'll hear will be the voice of the curriculum. It's government text which tells us what students are being asked to do with a particular poem when they're writing a test about it. So that's the first voice. The second voice is my poetic response back to that government text. And then all of that is enmeshed and entangled with the artwork of Anna Navarro. So the section is called Short Answer Response. So much depends. Identify the quality of a subject primarily established by details in a specified line of a poem. This is not my best subject. When forced to read a poem, from the first detail, each specific line takes me further from myself. Here's the illustration. Consider a series of words from a poem to identify the diction that reinforces a specified concept. A series of written words assaults my conscious mind. Specified concepts evade me. Identify the sentiment developed by details in specified lines of a poem. The sentiment developed as I read these lines reminds me of the time I fell into a lake, not knowing how to swim. Consider context and a footnote to identify the implication of a specified allusion in a poem. The allusions in a poem remind me of how much literature I've yet to read. Identify the main sentiment reinforced by a simile in a specified line of a poem. The smell of sweat and anxiety, thick as fogs among the desks, glazes my clotted thoughts, saturates this poem, drips specified lines in rivulets down the window of my perception. Identify the attribute of the speaker conveyed by the poet's use of apostrophe in specified lines in a poem. You poet, you tinker with words, arrange them on paper in ways that evade my comprehension. Consider a series of lines in a poem to identify contrasting images of the subject and its impact. so much depends upon my final grade in English. The whimsy of a poet and symbolic use of image, misidentified by me, leaves me frantic as a chicken pecking feed in rainwater. It's a skeleton of a chicken. Consider a series of lines in a poem to identify the lines that most clearly convey a specified sentiment. The lines of a poem are murky, with sentiments unspecified, that seep into my bones but refuse to be defined. Consider the absence of a specific type of punctuation at the end of a poem to identify the idea reinforced by the poet's omission. I hadn't even noticed the absence of a period at the end of this poem, but now that you mention it, I still don't care. All right, that's it for me. Thank you, Shelf Life, for this video, and thanks to you for watching and listening. I hope you're able to make it down to Shelf Life. You can use their curbside pickup. You can order online, I believe. They tell me they have many of these books, so feel free to go down and pick one up for a friend. I look forward to doing some readings in person in the future, and can't wait to see you at one of those readings. Thanks.